Andrew, hi. Good afternoon. Good day to have you with us. 8,000 is here. What next for markets now?
So I think what next, Anuj, is a couple of things. One is I think we're going to have to keep a close eye, as I said earlier this week with you, on the monsoons, because that's the real catalyst now, both for the economy and earnings. And if those are all okay, then this momentum can continue, and the positiveness around India will be there. I think since we last spoke, one of the things which has changed was the fears around Brexit. And I think that's partly to do with a Bank of England statement saying if people voted to leave the European Union, then house prices would fall, which I don't think anyone in the UK would like. So that's kind of swung the opinion polls more for the stay. So that maybe is now becoming less of an event, and therefore the volatility that maybe people were thinking of even earlier this week is probably not likely to be. So the risk there would be any kind of major terrorism that happened throughout Europe, because that could swing people back towards being negative towards Europe again. But at the moment, the risk around Brexit, I think, has gone away.
Andrew, I want to talk to you more about domestic cues. For a moment, let's just leave aside all the global action. Sure. The view on the street seems to be that Q4 has turned out to be a lot better than what people were fearing. And if you just go by some of the examples that we've got from even Tata Steel, I mean, the way their India operations have shown improvement, the way cement companies have shown, great performance across the board this time around. At least volumes are improving, maybe not pricing, but at least volumes are going up. So cement, some of the large steel plays, what L&T has done, is it setting the stage for a bigger up move?
Yeah, so I think what the earnings is showing is what we've been hoping for some time, and it's finally starting to show through in a lot of companies, is operational gearing. So as your volumes increase and you increase your manufacturing capacity utilization, it falls through to the bottom line, which is what's starting to happen. So, whilst I don't think anyone's going to rushing to upgrade forecasts at the moment, if the monsoons are okay, then that's when people will start to look at their earnings forecast, because that will give the catalyst, we think, for the economy to kind of move up an extra gear. And that would have a multiplier effect across many different industries, and therefore operational gearing would play more and margins would improve again.
Andrew, do you think this market can see a Goldilocks kind of scenario going forward? We have a lot of domestic buying. FIs, of course, have retreated a bit. It's the May factor as well. But if monsoon also turns out good, we have the domestic buying continuing. And if FIs also join back, do you see this market really giving big, handsome returns in the second half of the year?
I think if the monsoons are good, then obviously earnings will improve markedly, and I think that's where you could see more FII flows. Having said that, it's then what valuations you want to put on the market, and you're going to have to take a bit of a leap of faith on that. But against that, you have seen commodity prices move up. So other markets, such as Brazil, Russia, South Africa, have all become alternatives in terms of the cheaper markets, and you will get probably more beta from those markets in the shorter term, than India, which is what we've been seeing, actually.
What would you advise buying now, Andrew? If someone hasn't joined in the whole rush to 8,000, if they're entering, I mean, you're always a little tentative and tepid entering at 8,000. Should one enter? And if yes, what should one buy?
So we're continuing to focus on our key sectors of the private banks and the auto sector. We think those two sectors will continue to do well, mainly obviously on the private banks and the PSU banks. But we are, there will be an announcement in middle of June on PSU banks. So maybe that will be the catalyst, either before or after for those banks to participate as well. So the banking sector and the auto sector is where we're keeping most of our focus.
All right, Andrew, thanks a lot for your time. So that's Andrew Holland. Well, the market is still holding 8,000, 8,011.